Raj, Dwayne, and D go with Rerun to his audition because Mama's out, so Raj has got to watch D. And who's the first person I see on the Brady Bunch? Cousin Oliver is one of the characters. He played by what is his name? Rick. What is it? Rick? Rob?
Was this after he was already on? And probably
Brady
left?
Bunch, yes. Yeah, no, this was already after he ruined. Was on Brady Bunch as Cousin Oliver.
Did they write him off that show, or did they keep him till the end?
I want to say they kept him to the end, but yeah, it's one of those.
They buried him out behind the house.
Yeah, buried him by Tiger, like the dog.
They buried him right next to their fucking ratings report.
I wonder what's on the tube.
Welcome back.
Thank you for being a friend.
What you talking about, Willis?
You are a meathead.
Nothing for you.
Don't touch that dial. Adjust those bunny ears because what time is it, Jay?
Hey! It's time for Sitcom My Face. I'm Jay. That's Nick. And what are we talking about this episode?
What's happening?
With an exclamation, 2 exclamation marks, not a question mark.
Yeah. That's the interesting part about the logo.
Have you ever heard the story about why a lot of movies don't use question marks?
No, I haven't.
I guess it's bad luck. A lot of movies that have question marks in the titles were failures, so they they stopped using them at some point as this weird superstition.
But
actually,
that's
why
and who's Harry Crumb? Yeah, sorry.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit doesn't have a question mark for that very reason. But
wow.
Yeah, What's Happening ran for 65 episodes on ABC.
Correct.
From 1976 to 1979.
Last time we talked about Good Times. One of the creators was Eric Monty. Now, yes. Eric Monty, he penned a film called Cooley High. And
I think I own it, but I don't think I've ever watched it yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's from 1975. Like one of those coming-of-age comedy dramas. And loosely based on that, came the sitcom What's Happening.
Yeah, and Eric Monty, as we said, he wrote for Good Times, was a co-creator on that. He also apparently wrote for the Jeffersons and All in the Family as well.
Yes.
So he was one of Norman Lear's boys, and ABC wanted to do a pilot based on the film Cooley High, which apparently they did do, but then it was completely retooled into this.
Yeah. Well, because it was more comedy drama, I guess they also wanted it more sitcom, is what I read. And yeah, so it was definitely retooled. What was it? I think Preacher became Raj, one of our primary characters on What's Happening. And Cochise became I don't know if it's Dwayne or Rerun, truthfully.
Apparently in the original pilot script, Rerun was a thin white man. So
slightly different.
Are any of these actors in Cooley High?
Not that I'm aware of, which is interesting too. Yeah, it's sometimes they're plucked from the one to star in the other, but from what I'm aware, it wasn't any of the actors from the movie that came over to the sitcom.
Well, it kind of sounded like Eric Monty was kind of pushed out of the whole project too. Like it was based on his film that he wrote it. Did he also direct that?
Oh, Cooley High?
Yeah.
He wrote it. Directed by actually Michael Schultz.
Okay, so they made the pilot based on that. It sounded like he may have had more input had that pilot gone to air.
Yes.
But it was retooled into this, so much so that apparently at the end all it says is based loosely on Cooley High.
Correct.
And I think they did add
ending.
Created by Eric Monty, under that or something.
Yes.
But he thought he didn't get enough of the lion's share of the credit for being based on his film, and actually
Correct.
sued the production.
Yeah.
Because he's like, what the hell, man? You took my shit and just ran away with it.
It's like, if you're adjusting it, you're doing this and that, and now it's like, I get the little end credit like under the loosely based on created by Eric Monty.
That was the saddest thing I learned in this entire research for this show. Eric Monty created all these amazing things with Norman Lear and ended up homeless.
Yeah, it's amazing how some of these people that you would think it's like, oh, like such talent, such like they must have had so much more, and where they, wound up homeless after a while.
How do you write for All in the Family, the Jeffersons, create good times, and end up fucking homeless? That's insane.
I know.
That's your not so fun fact for the week. We'll bring
Womp,
that segment
womp.
back.
yes. You take the Charlie Brown fact of the week. There, Jay.
God. Anyway,
for what we mean about that, tune into prior episodes, particularly the F Troop one.
Good grief. Yeah. Well, what was your knowledge of the show prior to today?
I grew up with this show.
Okay.
This is one when I was young. I enjoyed this show, and then when it was put into syndication while I was a teenager, hey, I used to watch it again. But
so it reran quite often.
yes, you could say you can always find a rerun.
Rerun of a rerun. And I watched it on Tubi. I assume that's where you watched it as well.
Now, here's a little fun fact for you.
Oh,
I started watching on Roku channel.
Oh, okay. They didn't have them all,
and
did
then
they?
all of a sudden, I couldn't find it on the Roku channel because I guess by the end of the month, they had taken it off Roku channel.
They
so I
removed
finished
it
watching
while
on
you were
Tubi.
watching it. I had that on one of the streaming services one time. I don't remember which one it was, but I was literally watching something, and then it said like server error, and I refreshed, and the show was just gone. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was like the end of the week, and they changed. I'm like, oh, fuck. All
Yeah,
right.
you got to watch that end of the month watching, kids. Yeah, because you never know when a streaming service decides, we don't have this one anymore.
The license expired. There's only one fat bald guy watching. Get it out. I ain't paying for him to finish that episode. That shit out of here.
But
yeah, I was not familiar with this show really at all. I knew of it, of course, because I love classic shows, as we've been discussing for 30-some episodes. So I've seen, Fred Berry on other shows, guest appearances. I knew he was rerun. I've seen clips here and there on, TV Guide's funniest whatever. But I never really sat down and watched this show. I knew there was, what's happening and then what's happening now.
Right.
I didn't realize all the drama as of why. This is fun to look into.
Yes, for your research, that was one of the more interesting things of like, oh, hold on.
And it said this was the first all African-American show focused on teenagers?
On teenagers.
Right.
Yeah, because Good Times, you had more the full family unit and was more focused on the family unit. This one was more focused on the teens. Yes, you had Mama, Mrs. Thomas, and you also had Dee, who was younger than a teenager, supposedly, I guess, at that time. But, yeah, the main focus was Raj, Dwayne, and Rerun.
Played by Fred Berry.
Dwayne was played by Haywood Nelson.
Haywood. Yep.
But it's interesting on how some of the things, Roger Thomas was played by Ernest Thomas.
Yeah.
Dwayne Nelson was played by Haywood Nelson.
Yeah.
And Frederick or Freddie Rerun Stubbs was played by Fred Berry. Like each one had a bit of their name.
They said that
character.
one of the trivia pages I saw said that if you count D as short for like Danielle, I think was her name, they said every single character shares either a first or last name with the actor who plays them.
That was hell. Shirley was Shirley Wilson, played by Shirley Hemphill. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
And Mama, like Mrs. Thomas, Maybelle Thomas was played by Maybelle King.
I was looking at her resume. She had, what was it? So everything was ma, mother, or mama. She had like 7 of those.
Oh yeah.
And then she had a grandma
Mama
and an
Johnson.
aunt. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Mabel, mother. yeah, because I don't know if I'm sure you've watched the classic The Jerk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once, but I remember it being brilliant.
She was the mother.
Yeah. Also, she was the Wicked Witch in The Wiz,
Oh yes.
or whatever they called her character in that movie. That movie's version of the Wicked Witch.
Evelyn, I think Evelyn,
Something like
instead
that,
of
yeah.
Evelyn.
Yeah. The rest of the cast I wasn't too familiar with. Besides, like I said, seeing rerun on other things, but
Right.
of course, you only have 3 seasons. You only have 65 episodes. Probably wasn't an amazing, easy sell into syndication, I would imagine, at that time.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't remember seeing it a lot, but I remember, occasionally it would pop up on the old TV Guide channel there.
Yeah. And again, I remember, first run watching it, and then when I want to say early teenager, it was already in syndication in my area. So
it almost seemed like What's Happening Now was more reran than. I wonder if that was more successful. Maybe, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
And that was about 10 years later, something like that.
That ran
or like
from
6-7 years later. Or something.
1985 to 1988.
They said that they gave him a second chance because of the Cosby Show was so successful.
Yeah.
They're like, what do we got? Hey, let's give them another go. I feel like I wanted to really love this show. I like it. Like you said, following Good Times with this.
Yes.
I feel like did it maybe a little bit of a disservice.
Yeah, but it gives you an interesting contrast, though. Because, as you said, this one was focused more on the teens, while Good Times was focused more on the whole family unit. You're talking about
my biggest
mother and a
takeaway
dad.
from this, compared to a lot of shows we watch, probably 3 of my favorite female leads out of a lot of the shows we've seen, though.
Oh,
Between
my God.
Ma or Mama, whatever you want to call her, Dee and Shirley.
Yes.
3 of the best female characters we've seen, I feel like.
I totally agree. And in rewatching this, I saw how strong the female characters were, but like you said, basically sort of as a disservice, they weren't given the lion's share of, the screen time. But to me, they were given some of the best lines, and just like their portrayals were so strong.
Oh, and Mabel just so strong, confident, sincere, and like funny, but real, which I always really love. Like so grounded. And I didn't know because I hadn't seen it. I turned that 3rd season on. I go, oh fuck, where'd she go? She's gone. No.
Yep.
We have another Good Times Esther Raleigh situation.
Yes, in fact, you did. And one of the things, complaints that Mabel King had was she wanted more of, she wanted it to be a more family unit. She wanted basically a father figure there too. Now, the father for Raj and Dee does show up in a few episodes. Like, what was it, 2 or 3, I think? But
I saw one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Where he moves in for a minute as renting a room.
Right. But as far as an ongoing, like James on Good Times, we did not have that. And that was one of her big complaints. And, of course, as we just stated, the female characters weren't given a lot of the screen time, and Mama was given less and less. So
yeah, she too,
had it,
just like Esther Raleigh, did not like the way the characters started being portrayed. Her role was dwindling, especially at the end of the 2nd season there, where Raj moves out.
Correct.
So, yeah, and she probably saw herself as a pretty big name. She was a musician for 20-some years or something before that, maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
She was probably someone who was like, I'm a pretty important, integral, name on this show, and you're kind of fucking me over. But
exactly.
said she wasn't being heard because she was involved with some of the stories throughout the first 2 seasons, it sounded like, but they weren't
definitely
quite listening. I think she mentioned, I would like my character to not only, find a man. I'm a good woman. Why can't I find a man? Why can't I further my education? She wanted her character to go to school, and they were like, we're not going to give so much time to mama here when we're worried about reruns dancing over here, okay?
And it's funny, two of those things, they kind of shoehorned into one episode,
and then
and that was it. Like, I don't know if you saw, like Mama Goes to School, where she takes night school so she can get her diploma, and
they never mention it again, probably.
Yeah, that was it. It's like, okay, like she goes, takes the she's the best student in the class. In the class, she meets a man like more her age, and that she's kind of got the hots for, and it turns out he's basically using her to do his work.
So you're saying she told the showrunners, "Hey, I want an arc. I want to move."
So they gave her a 1 episode arc.
And they said, "Hey, if it ain't fixed, don't broke it."
Well, they didn't really say it then because they were waiting for Jay to say it many years later.
Yeah.
Now,
yep.
Okay, let's go to our 3 main protagonists, Raj, Dwayne, and Rerun. Of those characters, did you have a particular favorite?
I felt like, as a fellow fat man, I feel like it should have been Rerun, but I really didn't care that much for Rerun on this show.
Well, I saw, like, when I was younger, I loved Rerun, but in rewatching it, it's like I see how he kind of fit the JJ mold of Good Times. It's like, okay, here's the one character we're going to stick out because, he's a little more clueless, or he's a little more like, okay, we can use him like for more fat jokes. We can use him for more. And
that's the thing too, is like the Shirley and the Rerun jokes were the same jokes.
Right.
It's like,
although them going
recycling them between the 2 characters, that got a little old for me.
Yeah, it's like them going like at each other was funny. Although to me, always Shirley got the best.
Shirley was great.
Shirley was great, and I think also her delivery was so much. It was just more authentic, and like so much attitude came along with it.
I only found this in one video, and I kind of hope it's true, but I don't know if it is. So take it with a grain of salt. She guest starred on Good Times and was offered a spinoff after 1 appearance and turned it down.
Wow.
For What's Happening.
Damn.
Norman Lear offered her a spin-off show.
Yeah,
and she said no and accepted this instead.
Yeah, the show that she was going to another guest starring thing was All's Fair. And then
she had her own show for like 13 episodes.
Lear offered her own spin-off, but she turned it down. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know.
Imagine Norman Lear offering you a fucking spinoff after all these crazy successes.
Yeah,
because by this time, the other shows already existed.
Correct. Yeah, a lot of his other shows
shit.
were already... because if Good Times was there, that means Maude was there, which means, of course, that All in the Family had already been there. And then, with All in the Family, yes, that means also the Jeffersons was there.
You know what you say when Norman Lear offers you a spinoff?
Yes.
That's what you fucking say. Yes, anything you want, buddy. Holy shit.
But yeah.
But she had some other show, 1 in a Million, that lasted like 13 episodes and was canceled, unfortunately. But
yeah, unfortunately. And then the rest of her career, besides What's Happening Now, of course she was back for that. The rest of her career was more, just guest roles, guest episodes.
I definitely want to do a future episode on What's Happening Now because I feel like I might like that a little better.
Yeah, I have to give that a rewatch because for me at the time it was like, oh, there was something about it that at the time, like, no, I already watched What's Happening. It's like, nah, I don't want to watch them older. And so I didn't watch it much as a kid.
I read that Fred Berry leaves that show too,
Mhm.
or leaves that show in the second season, and then they bring in Martin Lawrence. I was
Okay,
like, what?
that-
I got to see that.
That I did not know. And so,
Yeah.
you definitely piqued my curiosity on that one.
I got to see that, yeah. Anyway, so you said Dwayne was pretty good. He was the youngest of the cast, I guess,
Yeah.
16 years old,
yeah.
compared to his two best friends were 27 and 25.
Yeah.
How weird would that have been?
Yeah, I know. It's so strange how casting goes where, like, again, let's go back to Good Times, where James was, he was in his, I think, late 30s, and JJ, his son, was actually 26.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it in the nicest way possible. White people have to play their age because we just look old in general.
Well,
We always...
unless you're one of those,
Maybe females. Okay, I'll say white men have to play their age because we always look...
Unless you have someone like, say, a Ralph Macchio or something like that, for a while is able to play the younger role, or like Michael J. Fox, like, for a while he still played younger roles.
They'll cast me right now as a 18-year-old, right?
Oh, anyway, on to...
Fuck. Where's my scotch?
Well... The three characters themselves. Raj he's more the intellectual. He wants to become a writer, be it screenwriter, be it just author, poet. Yeah, he's the one. A lot of times he also, when he's thinking, he gives the thinker pose, like with the.
The thing I liked most about Raj is his rhythm. Like, he had a really interesting.
Yes. His cadence,
Yeah.
No, I totally agree.
Especially when you have him next to Jumping Around Rerun. It was, fast paced versus his, like, slower cadence. I really liked that.
Now, Dwayne, as you said, was the youngest actor of the three, and was also, of the trio, was supposed to be the youngest. And it showed...
By 1 year, though.
Huh?
By 1 year.
But in attitude,
not 12.
He also comes across. He's more the shy one. He's also he's got a lot of fears, like fear of the dark and things like that. And what are his besides hey? What's his other common phrasing that he does?
Remind me.
Nuh-uh. It's always like,
right.
uh-huh.
I didn't really pick up on that, but yeah. Now, he was the only one, I think it said, that was in every single episode.
Yeah, which is really strange when you think
He was
about
the
it.
youngest one, and even weirder considering it said for the first 2 seasons, he lived in fucking New York.
Which is crazy.
And commuted to LA to shoot the
Yes.
show.
That is crazy.
And he's the one that never missed a damn day of work.
Right.
Holy shit.
And now on to Fred Berry, Freddie Rerun Stubbs.
Should have been Freddie Troublemaker Stubbs.
Well, yeah, he was of the three more the troublemaker. He was more the bumbling, not to say idiot, but well, let's go into why is he given the name Rerun?
I don't know why the fuck he was called Rerun.
Well, because like for his school, like he would take like that year of school, and then
it was because he did 7 years of fucking high school.
Well, he would take that year of school, and then in the summer he would have to take it again, basically rerun.
They mentioned that in one of them.
Yep, I think it's like the second episode.
Oh, I watched the first 2. I don't remember that, but that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
I watched the one where he was scared to graduate.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the one where Shirley basically moves in to watch Dee. Mama was away or something.
Yeah.
One of the better episodes I watched, and he gets caught. Raj is trying to force him to cheat because it was clear he was throwing the test. And he mentions that he did 7 years of high school. And he's like counting it out though, and he goes, "Let me see." He's like freshman, sophomore, freshman, sophomore, junior, sophomore, and he goes, "What the hell?" Like he keeps going back.
Well, I love on I got to ask you, did you watch the Doobie Brothers episodes?
No, but the one video I found on YouTube did recommend those as the best.
Okay.
How many were there? 2?
There were 2. It was a 2-parter.
Oh, okay.
And apparently, the story is one of the members of the Doobie Brothers went to Jefferson High School. I think that was the name of their high school. So he remembers Rerun. It's like, hey, Rerun, how long has it been? And it's like, what have you been doing since high school? It's like, I'm still a senior.
Apparently there was some like fan theories. I guess it's the same street that Sanford and Son takes place on.
Oh, okay.
And I was trying to remember and I forgot to look it up. They said that a lot of people thought the set was the same set from Sanford and Son minus the junk, but I don't remember what his house looked like offhand.
Was
it similar?
You know what? I could see that. You know what? And I'm gonna have to. We're gonna have to do Sanford and Son soon, then.
Yeah.
So we can, do that before and after, I guess.
Yeah, because I guess in a couple episodes they actually give the street address, or maybe in the opening. I can't remember. But they said it's the same exact street. It's the same street that Sanford and Son live on.
Okay.
But one of the actors in an interview said that to his knowledge, there was no actual connection in characters or anything with the shows.
Got it. But now, okay, so those are the 3 main male leads. Let's go to we talked about Mama Mabel Thomas, played by Mabel King, and
what a good mama she was.
Oh, what a good mama she was! And again, she's playing also single mama. She's divorced, but she's the authority, but she's the one, making a living doing multiple jobs, supporting her family of Raj and Dee. One
of her final films was a Christmas classic, Scrooged, with Bill Murray.
Oh, I did not realize that.
I think it said she quit acting. I think she got diabetes real bad and actually had to have like a foot or leg removed or something. And you talked about The Jerk. Did you watch the final episode where that kid is on the talent show doing Steve Martin?
Oh, no, I didn't watch that. Was that the Gong Show episode?
It was called, I think, The Benefit Show or something.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't watch that one.
And this little kid comes out, little white kid. He's got the arrow through his head with the suit on, and he starts doing Steve Martin bits.
That's an interesting homage there.
And I was like, I wonder if that was because she was in The Jerk. Mm-hmm. Even though she was already gone by that point.
Yeah, she was already off the show. But maybe just like as a homage to Mama.
He even does like, I'm a wild and crazy guy.
Now, to me, again, one of the standouts, should have had more time, but Dee. Played by Danielle Spencer.
I think they honestly used her to perfection. I think maybe if you gave her a little too much and let her hold up the show too much, you might have lost a little bit of that sarcastic input.
Yeah, I could see that.
She's like me. People always tell me like I'm a conversationally a funny asshole. But people were like, "Oh, you should do stand up." And I go, "No, that's different. That's a different thing." Oh, yeah. I'm up there talking to myself. I need you to make fun of. That's what I need. You know what I mean? And I think Dee is the same. You need someone else to be having the problem so that Dee could come in and point out the joke.
Right. Like, well, first with her brother, whenever she gets wind of any scheme or anything going on, it's like, "Ooh, I'm telling Mama." And then puts out the hand. It's like basically, unless you give me, to silence.
Hey, she was cheap though. She only took like a quarter.
Yeah, usually.
I like the one where she went to the school therapist and kept talking about my friend has a problem, and he's like, "Oh, your friend," which the therapist at the school was Tim Reed, who we've talked about many a time now. And he's like, "Oh yes, your friend." So he's very convinced that it's her. And then, of course, the next day, literally comes in. "Okay, my friend decided to talk to you," and actually, her friend's there. And he goes, "Wait, that was really about your friend?" She goes, "What? You didn't believe me?" I love that even though you think she's like a precocious, dumb little kid, she knows exactly what she's talking about.
Oh no, like if you pay attention over the time, she's probably the smartest one. Because even though it's like, Raj, I need help with my with my math homework. And it's like, the thing is, she actually knows the answer, but hey, if I can get him to say it,
Right.
why bother?
Or even like, I think there was one where she was talking about running away. I'm going to run away.
That's the first episode.
Where she's like, oh, you're going to have to do your own laundry and cook your own meals. And she's like, yeah, it really doesn't seem worth it, does it? Scamps up to a room. Never mind. She knows. She ain't dumb.
And I love when, like, Mama was saying something to Raj, and, Raj is trying to, like, plead his case. And, like, she's, like, interjecting, and it's like, oh, Mama got it. Yeah, you're going to get it. And it's like, he's like, shut up, dear. It's like, don't talk to your sister like that. And it's like, and she keeps interjecting, and it's like, and then all of a sudden, Mama will be, shut up, D.
If you were to ask me my favorite character on the show, I would be hard pressed to choose between Shirley and Dee. I like them a lot.
Those are my two. Those are definitely my two. Although, like, again, we said they didn't get the same amount of screen time, although Shirley definitely did get from late season 2 into season 3 as she's watching Dee, while Mama is away.
Yeah, I was wondering that because in the last season, I was waiting for that to go back to the home stuff so I could see how they handled Mama being gone. But the 3 that I watched in the last season, they never went back to the house. There was like the benefit and then the restaurant and the school. And I was like, well, maybe they just completely ignored the house after Mama left or what?
No, they actually did use it, at least in one of the episodes. Here's the thing. You'll find out that, I didn't watch much of season 3 because I just remember it wasn't as good after Mama left. And if you look at some of the lists out there of best episodes of, what's happening, they're all season 1 and 2. And then worst episodes of what's happening, pretty much season 3 is the worst episodes. The one of the ones that I thought was really funny, actually, I think
you said the Doobie Brothers, but yeah.
Yeah, Doobie Brothers. Now, here's the thing: are you a fan of their music?
Not enough to name a song for you, but if I heard them, I could probably sing along.
Well, here's the funny thing. Well, you'd be very versed in their music once you've watched those 2 episodes, because they do like how many complete songs, basically. It's like, oh, okay. Well, this is basically a little What's Happening skit around a Doobie Brothers
video.
concert.
Well.
But, and it was strange seeing Michael McDonald young, like the one lead singer slash pianist.
Yeah, not the Stewart from Mad TV, the singer.
Yeah. We're talking about Michael McDonald. Like he has that kind of voice.
Not Michael McDonald. Look what I can do.
But anyway, talking about with the best episodes, like what do you think was the best episode you watched? Let's
my favorite of the, like I said, my favorite one was the one where Mama's out of town, and it was season 2, I think, and Shirley stays at the house and basically like, why don't you stay here? And she's telling her that fun little, tell me a bedtime story. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't watch that one.
You can't even do it justice because it's just a funny way Shirley tells a story, but she starts doing like Little Red Robin Hood. She's like, yeah, little girl, Little Red Robin Hood. She was named after the clothes, I guess. And like, she was going to grandma's house and she's like, why'd grandma live in the woods? She goes, I don't know. Why the hell they did keep her in the woods? He's like, maybe she has something real contagious or something like that. It was just so funny. And it was just Dee like laying on her lap and her telling the story. And then she's like, no, I heard that story. I want to hear about your life. She's like, nope. Finally, she's like, it's a real boring story. She goes, well, I am trying to go to sleep. Okay, you're right. And starts telling her, and I was born in 19, and it was just a really funny. Probably my favorite scene of any of them I saw I think I watched 10 to 12, something like that.
Okay.
Episodes.
Yeah, I was surprised. I think I watched actually like around like 13 to 15. Like it was just like, it's weird. These kind of were easy watches.
They're in and out.
They're very in and out. Now,
oh wait, and that same episode ended with the teacher who
Miss Collins.
Yeah, and she's in like 7 episodes or something. She was pretty good. But this episode, not only does she bet with Rerun if he got any answers wrong on the test, so she's betting.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes, "Oh my God!" When he gets an A, "I'm so happy I could kiss you." She's like, "Bring it on!" And he kisses the fucking teacher.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, holy shit, different time, different world. Holy fuck. She's like, "Lay one on me." And I was like, oh boy. Can hear the sirens in the distance.
Yeah, exactly.
Good thing he's 27 years old at that point.
But I think my favorite episode was Burger Queen.
Okay.
Did you watch that one?
I don't think I did. No.
Okay.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Well, what it is a fast food, like a company, Bridge Burger. They're looking for a new spokesperson, like to do their commercials. And Rerun is all convinced because, number one, he loves food, period. And he loves Bridge Burger, and he's doing this little, like, dance, and, like, it's kind of like the old McDonald's for, Big Mac, like 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles. He's doing a thing
sesame
about...
seed bun.
Yep. He's doing a thing for Bridge Burger. So, Raj, Dwayne, and Dee go with Rerun to his audition because Mama's out, so Raj has got to watch Dee. And first
I'm
off...
starting to understand why she was upset with her smaller role when our favorite episodes start turning into, so Mama was gone.
Yeah. So anyway, they're at the audition, like in the waiting area, and who's the first person I see? On the Brady Bunch, Cousin Oliver is one of the character. He played by what is his name? Rick. What is it? Rick? Rob?
Was this after he was already on? And probably
Brady
left?
Bunch, yes. Yeah, no, this was already after he ruined... was on Brady Bunch as Cousin Oliver. And,
did they write him off that show, or did they keep him till the end?
I want to say they kept him to the end, but, yeah, it's one of those,
and they buried him out behind the house?
Yeah, buried him, by Tiger, like the dog.
They buried him right next to their fucking ratings report.
But apparently he's like a professional actor. He's acted in other things. So when the guy that comes out looking for, we're looking for a fresh face, it's like basically Cousin Oliver is disqualified at that point. And who comes out to say, we were looking for a fresh face, but Dick Van Patten, the dad of 8 is Enough.
8 is Enough, yep.
Yep, and so it's like, and instead of Rerun being the focus, because Rerun's there starting to do a little of his dance and thing, he sees Dee. And it's like, that's who we're, like, looking for. So, basically, Dee becomes the focus of, like, okay, to do the commercial. And when she's, like, there just standing by the stack of hamburgers, she's like, what's this made of? Like, jackass meat? Or, like... It's like, no, this is 100% meat. It's like, well, jackass is meat. It's just not hamburger meat.
Everyone knows you never bring anyone to an audition with you because they always win over you.
Yes. And yeah, it's not just a TV trope as in like sitcoms, but yeah.
It happens.
It actually happens. I know on some of those reality competitions, the brother just was there for moral support. Oh, they asked the brother, hey, why don't you sing us a few bars? Oh, actually, we like you. It's like,
that's how Johnny Depp was discovered by Wes Craven.
That's crazy.
What was the kid from Bad News Bears, the one who played Freddy in the remake?
Oh, Jackie Earl Haley.
Yes. Jackie Earl Haley went to the audition for the original Nightmare on Elm Street and brought his buddy Johnny Depp.
Oh, that's funny.
And they saw Johnny Depp and were like, hey, do you want to audition?
It's like, who's your friend there?
I always thought it was so funny. He steals the part. Johnny Depp steals the part from Earl Haley, and then years later, he ends up playing Freddy. Yeah.
I got to ask you, as the horror pro.
It sucks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you know, Jackie Earl Haley versus Robert Englund.
I don't mind Jackie Earl Haley's performance as Freddy, but the movie is awful.
Gotcha. Yeah, I avoided the new Nightmare on Elm Street ones because it's just like, how can you not have Robert Englund as Freddy?
The only thing that has me excited about Freddy lately is that apparently Craven's family has regained the rights to the franchise and have been very picky. They're getting all these scripts thrown at him, and they said that they have not found a single one that they think will honor Wes Craven yet. And they will not do one until they know it's good enough for him.
All I gotta say is to that, JJ, get on it. Come on, man.
I know.
But
it's always been hard for me to really love Freddy, considering he's like a child molester and murderer. But
but what do you call it? In that Burger Queen episode, they actually also had to bring along Shirley to be Mama to give permission. And then at the one point, Shirley, you know, eats the burger, and like there's a dynamic between Shirley and Dee talking and eating the burgers. So it's like, we love it. Yeah, it's like, that's what we want. But yeah, we're gonna have to, you know, like find, you know, like like a mother and daughter team, because you don't look alike. So it's like, oh, hold on, you don't. So Shirley goes off, and she comes out as basically Shirley, and Rerun comes out as Mama, as Shirley's mama.
Did you read about how she was discovered?
Shirley, no.
Yeah, she was obviously a funny person, and was thinking about doing comedy, like stand up, I guess, and loved Flip Wilson. She made a little recording of her comedy and sent it into Flip Wilson, who loved it so much and sent her a brand new audio recorder because hers sounded like shit. He goes, "Here's a new tape recorder, you know, get to work." So I think she ended up moving. I think she was also an East Coaster, if I recall, and went out to LA and started doing comedy at the Comedy Store.
Yeah. She was from North Carolina. Yeah, it's like, yeah, Shirley and Dee just, you know, whenever they have the screen and also together are great. Like,
as far as comedy, those two are my favorite on the show.
Yeah.
And like I said, I love Mama just for, she really grounds everyone else and is just so, there's something about just her warmth and her charisma that really held the rest of these crazy people together, which I liked.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, just like a shout out, Danielle Spencer D., Trenton, New Jersey.
She's in What's Happening Now as well, right?
I believe so, yes.
Good.
But, yet, were there any other episodes that you found, like, really good, or?
No, and that's the saddest thing to me. And like I said, it's hard for me knowing if it's because we just got off Good Times, which felt so smart.
Well,
a lot of the jokes on this show don't necessarily work, and I guess they're not really jokes. They're more like interplay between friends.
Yeah, it was more interplay between friends, but I think it was also a little more, how do we want to say it? A little more contrived, like, and sitcom standard, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
Versus a little more the realism of Good Times.
I say this show is good. I don't think it's great. There's those couple of great characters, but I don't know that I love the show.
Right. Yeah. In rewatching, because I remember really liking this as a kid. In watching, it was enjoyable. It was an easy watch, but yeah, when you put it against like we just watched Good Times. We just watched Freaks and Geeks. We just watched, you know, like these shows that are like so much better. And it's like, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, this
well, and
was
looking at, I like to look at the directors and the writers. I was looking at the writers, and usually I'll find the one who wrote the most, and I'll give a little info on him. There's so many fucking writers on this show.
Yeah, it's not consistent.
It's not even feasible to pluck out one and tell you about them, because I think 2 of them worked on like 8 episodes each, and the rest were all 1 or 2 here and there. So it's not even like, I don't even think they really had a consistent writing team.
Right.
That knew the characters well enough. Usually there's a showrunner who, their name's on 100 and whatever episodes of a show.
No.
It didn't seem like this had that.
The one thing that I think what's happening, like really had for it. What'd you think of the theme?
I didn't like it.
You did not like it. Okay.
Like clown music or some shit. It just seemed...
Because this is a weird one. This one, like, is one of those theme songs that's been with me forever.
I know I've heard it, and I don't remember knowing if it came from this.
It's all instrumental. There's no
Yep.
There's no words or anything.
It's like fucking clown music. It just felt like the circus was rolling into town.
Well, here's a weird thing. Did you see who created the theme?
No.
The great composer, Henry Mancini. Henry Mancini, we're talking about the Pink Panther theme. We're talking about Moon River from Breakfast at Tiffany's. The music from Peter Gunn. Dun 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 dun. We're talking about like an acclaimed composer actually wrote the music for what's happening.
Yeah, honestly, I started skipping it after about the second listen. The only time I ever rewatched it was like when the opening changed.
Okay, yeah.
Like the third one where they went to like
second season
college.
and third season, yeah.
Yeah, but I wasn't a big fan of it. I love the Pink Panther theme. Shit, that's one of my favorite film themes of all time.
But yeah, it was just strange to see like usually, okay, you have like a really good musician do a theme, or someone that's related to somebody on the show, like some connection do the theme. And then I was like I'm like watching first episode, I'm like, Henry Mancini? Wait, that Henry Mancini? Now, and for me, this is one of the more memorable like themes, because like I just remember it from my childhood. I remember it watching it as a teenager, and it's one of
I can see how it's memorable. I'll probably remember it, but I just don't think I like it.
Okay.
It's like when you're like, all right, I'm about to be really funny.
Well,
it's like trying to build you up for like comedy's about to ensue.
Yeah,
and then it's like, you're trying a little hard there, song. I feel like.
Well, here's an interesting one of that Henry Mancini also wrote. Do you remember Baby Elephant Walk? Yeah,
is that from Jungle Book?
No. It's just a very common used theme called Baby Elephant Walk. For those out there, look it up. And as soon as you hear it, it's like, yeah, I know I've heard this and stuff. Yeah, Henry Mancini wrote that. And I think this is more a little reminiscent of his work with Baby Elephant Walk.
There's the 2 cops in Halloween 5 that show up, and it's a horror movie about a slasher murdering teenagers. And these 2 cops show up, and it's like, boom, ding, dong, ding, boom, boom, honk, 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 like clown horns and shit. And you go, what the fuck? That's what this reminded me of. You know why it ended, right?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, Mama had already left. So season 3 is Mama-less. Then Fred Berry.
That's what I said. Fred Berry, the troublemaker.
Yes, himself.
Sounded like a lot of people blamed his ass for canceling What's Happening twice.
Yeah, so he decided to basically strike You'll find he's not in the episode D, the cheerleader.
Well, apparently in the second season, he also convinced Raj to walk out with him. They were demanded bigger, cleaner dressing rooms and more money.
Yes.
And the network obliged. They said, okay, come back. We'll give you what you want. So at the end of the third season, they tried that shit again.
Yes.
And this time the network said, fuck you. And they canceled the show rather than give in to demands.
Yeah, it's like, like here, the thing I picked out was light of the seriousness of the accusation, because not only were they saying like some of the conditions and such, Barry and
calling them
and
racist
Thomas
as well,
actually calling it racist. So it's like, to accommodate everyone, we're just gonna cancel then.
Well, it said something like he found out that the African American cast members were getting like 5,000 an episode, and the white members were getting 8,000.
Right.
Who the fuck were the white members of the cast? I don't remember seeing.
Not many.
Who the fuck would have been a white cast member that was getting 8,000? The teacher? She was only in 7 episodes.
Right.
Like what?
But
maybe it's true, but that seems crazy. And
yeah,
he ended up doing the same shit on What's Happening Now. That's why he leaves in the second season. They wrote him out. He went on strike again, and Raj was like, "I'm going to stick around this time. I'm not going to let you fuck it up this time."
Sorry, Fred.
But yeah, I think in the
gotta go, Fred.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, but yeah, overall, I'm going to say, though, good show, not great. Again, in light of what we've been watching as of recently, yeah, it doesn't hold a candle. But is it like the worst show? Nah.
I just thought it was funny that Esther Raleigh and Mabel King, was it? They both wanted so bad to have complete family units on TV, but then both characters basically end up abandoning their children.
Yeah.
They both fought for a complete family unit with a father figure, and then they both didn't get it, so they're like, I'm fucking out of here. And they abandoned their children, so it's the complete opposite of what they wanted.
But
did you read about the Danielle Spencer crash when she was on the second season there?
No, I did not.
Young Danielle Spencer there, Dee, in the second season was in a car crash where her stepfather, they said, died in the accident protecting her. So she had really bad spinal injuries and stuff, and I guess that's why in the second season they change her hairdo with the bangs.
Yeah.
Because she had, I guess, scars or something on her head from it.
Oh.
And years and years later, she had to have, I think, brain surgery for something and a spinal surgery.
Damn. That sucks.
Another one of your not so fun facts for the week.
There you go. Wah wah, Charlie Brown noise.
But I believe she is still around. A lot of them are,
of the main ones, Ernest Thomas, Haywood Nelson, Danielle Spencer, they're still around. Mabel King, Shirley Hemphill, and of course, Fred Berry are all deceased.
Did you read the weird stuff surrounding his death? They think that he might have been killed?
Yeah, that was a bit weird. Yeah, I was like, huh?
There's like a conspiracy. I guess on record he died of natural causes, but there's like his is it his ex-wife or his, I don't know if they were married at the time of his death, but she wrote this huge thing about how he had won some money on the Weakest Link show and started some kind of, they started a company or something with was it $5 million? And she thinks he was poisoned because they used his tax ID number to start this company and they didn't want to pay him the millions of dollars or something. I was like,
jeez.
I was like, wait, there's a What's Happening Weakest Link murder conspiracy? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and apparently he had attempted suicide multiple times, too.
Yeah, he was pretty bad into drugs and alcohol.
Yep.
But the conspiracy theory also says that a lot of people blamed him for losing the show.
Right.
So I guess he had some enemies. But
yeah, it's damn shame with him, and like Yeah, he was also known on the show Soul Train
For his
In the-
dancing.
the line dance segment. He did the early 70s dance. It was the slow mo. he was good at that.
The most prominent director I found, even though the writers were all over the place, with 44 episodes of this, was Mark Warren. He did 71 episodes of Laugh-In,
Wow.
7 episodes of Sanford and Son, 5 episodes of a show called Baby I'm Back, which I had never heard of, but upon looking into it, starred Desmond Wilson, Kim Fields,
Oh.
and Helen Martin, who also...
Okay. So Lamont,
Yep.
Tootie, and,
Yep.
and who was the last one?
Helen Martin, who was in 3 episodes of this show, and we talked about from Good Times.
Damn.
She's the
That's
one that we
funny.
mentioned who always played like the older, wisecracking
Yep.
granny. But it seemed almost like she was meant to be a regular on here because she was in the first 2 episodes and then just goes away.
Mm.
So I wonder if that was originally an idea, but then she shows up in the final episode.
Yeah.
Again.
She was the one that was supposed to babysit Dee and just basically fell asleep.
Yeah.
While Dee dives into the jar of peanut butter.
Because when I watched the first couple, I was like, oh, cool, she's on here. And then she just goes away. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, all right. But yeah, that was Mark Warren. So he was the closest thing they had to someone in charge for a while, it seemed like, with 44 episodes of the 65 directing.
But let's do a final judgment here. On your magical list, where does What's Happening go?
This is difficult because I don't want to take the merits away from it. Unfortunately, this is a list of my favorites so far. And while I did enjoy characters in this show very much, as an overall show, I don't think I loved it as much as I wanted to. This will be our 32nd show we've covered. And for me, it's going to fall at number 27. Shockingly under, just below Dharma and Greg, and just above That 80s Show.
Okay. For me, it goes a little higher. Little. Let's see. 39, 8, 5, 4.
But I will say I am very hopeful for the follow-up series that maybe ages them, gives them a little more maturity and a little more substance to the storylines.
Let's hope. But I put this around, I guess it's around 22, just ahead of Amos and Andy and just under Different Strokes for me.
Yeah, and that's
and a couple above, like a few above, say, Dharma and Greg.
That was in my mind when I went to my list. I was like, I'm going to shoot toward Different Strokes and see how I feel around there. And honestly,
Different Strokes holds up better.
Different Strokes is number 22 for me. 23 is Odd Couple, 24 is Full House, 25 is Amos and Andy, 26 Dharma and Greg, and then What's Happening, which is not what I expected from this. But.
Right. Yeah, I expected this to be more middle, not in the 20s for me.
But as we've mentioned before, our top 20 shows right now are all... Oh, there's a lot of bangers on that list right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, we've watched some incredible shows, and we will watch many more incredible ones, and we will, be honest, we're going to watch some stinkers, too.
I'm excited to see what you think about our next show that I brought up to you.
What will be our next show there, Jay?
The Minnie Driver sitcom, Speechless. I think it was an ABC show, if I recall right. And I think it's
so.
only about 3 seasons as well.
Yeah, and it was pretty recent, too.
Yeah. And I spoiler, I loved it. I loved the show. So I'm excited. It's kind of like Raising Hope, where I felt like I discovered something that none of my friends were watching.
The hidden gem.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see how you feel about it. Go into it. Don't worry about my feelings, sir. You go into it with a nice open mind and let me know what you think, though.
Hey, if it's anything like Raising Hope, where it's like, okay, yeah, really didn't watch any. Oh my God, this show is so great. then
Speechless to me felt like Malcolm in the Middle if Malcolm had special needs.
Okay.
Which to me was so hilarious how they don't handle it with kid gloves. I loved the fact of how open and honest they were about it.
Okay. Oh, you've definitely piqued my interest. So,
all right. Well, we got the YouTubes, Sitcom My Face, a situation comedy podcast. We have Facebook. You can go facebook.com/sitcommyface. You can email us, sitcommyface@gmail.com. You can find that boy over there on Twitch, netnick191, or me, Bidwell Fogg. You can check out his other show, What Exit Jersey Stories.
I promise we'll get back to it.
Yeah. Anything else you want to pop in here?
No, I don't think anything special, but yeah, to all those that celebrate, or that celebrated this week, happy Passover, and to those about to celebrate, happy Easter, and to the ones next week that'll celebrate, happy Easter as well.
Well, that does bring up a very important question before we go.
Yes.
Hollow Easter Bunny or solid chocolate Easter Bunny?
Ooh. You see, I was used to the hollow ones. Yeah, yes, I am Hollow Man.
Okay, Kevin Bacon, calm the fuck down. He's also a peeper, which makes sense.
Degree of Kevin Bacon.
The first thing he did when he went invisible is peep on women, so that makes sense, Nick.
No, and how about you? Solid or hollow?
I think I gotta go solid.
Okay.
Solid in, solid out.
Very good. Well, yeah, we'll see how the stomach deals with it. It may not be necessarily, but yeah, and if you enjoy our show, please spread the word. If there's something you'd like us to watch, please let us know.
Yeah, if you made it this far, hit that like button, comment below.
And hell, and if you didn't like it, hit the dislike and comment below why. And then, you know what? We'll work on it.
And tell us why what's happening needs to be higher on the list. Because I feel like it does, but I can't justify it yet.
Okay.
But what would we like everyone to do here, buddy?
Well, we like you out there, the viewing audience and listening audience, to Sitcom My Face.
Hey.